of course, as a fan in the moment, how could you throw that flag?
Of course.
But yeah, to me, and I haven't been overly emotional about it because again, it's what is it now? We're recording this on Thursday. I'm past it now. I'm ready for the Eagles to start as a fan, to start making some off-season moves,
Yeah.
getting primed for next year. A Hurts extension. Maybe Brian Johnson is now the official. He's
Rational,
going to be
intelligent, rational,
right.
professional. You get it.
Yeah,
You got it.
there's me. I'm ready for the Hurts extension. Brian Johnson, OC, hire a new
Oh,
DC. Make some moves, make some trades, see what Howie can be a wizard in the draft again. And again, this team could be the class of the NFC next year anyway. So maybe you're expecting to get back there in Vegas.
Yeah.
Maybe get a rematch with the Chiefs. Who knows? But in the moment, yeah, of course, you're like, how could you throw that? Because it was, granted, it was a late flag. You look at the replay, you're saying, well, the left hand, everyone focused on the left hand of Bradbury first. The right hand's what tugged the jersey. On first impression, you're like, that's really ticky-tack. All right. And then you see the actual right hand where he tugs the jersey. You're like, okay, letter of the law, that is a hold. But the problem is, how could you call in that spot? And I will maintain that argument. Now, again, that's not how officials generally operate.
right.
I know Carl Sheffer's crew has been absolutely roasted ever since his crew notoriously calls a lot of penalties. And it was weird because that entire game, there was no defensive holding. There was no defensive pass interference the entire game on either side. There was none.
Well, they
of that
missed the one. They
game.
missed the one on Juju. They missed one.
They miss those calls all the time. But generally, when that happens, when they miss those types of calls, you figure
I get it.
That's the way they're going to play the game. They're going to let them ball. They're going to let them battle out a little bit more.
Yep.
Now, did it get Juju completely off his route? Maybe it hindered him a little bit. And again, you can't use the excuse of, well, Mahomes would have overthrown him anyway, which he would have. But that's only on pass interference penalties. It is. If it's a holding penalty, you can't use that excuse. So, and at that point,
again, I go back to everything you're saying is accurate, but again, nowhere in the friggin' rule book does it say you can't throw a flag there. It's only
exactly.
Super Bowl, it's magnified in that spot. That's why we're having this conversation now. It robbed us of potentially seeing the Jalen Hurts with the football go down the field.
That's all it is. Now, I think more rational Eagle fans that are probably still a little bit more irate than I am right now. They're saying, well, at the very least, it would have held the Chiefs to a field goal with 90 seconds left. Now, Jalen Hurts has 80 to 90 seconds to try to go down the field to either tie the game for overtime or win the game outright with no timeouts left. Now, that's what they said they're more irate about, that they were robbed of that. Now, am I mad about that? Of course I am. But at this point, they never should have been in that position to begin with. You have 4 minutes left. You can't – they have – realistically, Rich, they did not stop them all game. I believe they only forced one punt the entire game. And, of course, the Eagles had the ball first. And, again, the Chiefs did score on defense in the first half. So, with that type of ball control, you kept Mahomes off the field, I would say. I mean, I forget the exact stat on it, but, I mean, Mahomes had probably less than half of the time of possession that Jalen Hurts did with the Eagles offense, and you still lost the game. Who does that fall on? To me, it's the defense. Okay, you can criticize Nick Sirianni, Shane Steichen, and the offense for being maybe conservative in two spots. I know there was a late punt, but they were in their own territory. I was fine with them, as you're saying. Well, you have this great defense. You need to make one stop. All right, maybe this is the final time they make the one stop. They settle for the field goal to go up 27-21 instead of going for it. Would I have gone for it in hindsight? Yeah, probably. But, I mean, you're up 27-21. You have the lead the entire time in this game. They did not trail in that game until 28-27, and then they're down 35-27, and they still come back and tie the game. So it ultimately falls on lack of defensive adjustments. I'm not going to blame the offense. I really can't blame Sirianni. It was just a great game marred by the conversation of the penalty. But overall, great Super Bowl. The Eagles were in it. They had a chance. They had their chances, could not capitalize. And, again, experience versus the young team in that Super Bowl. So hats off to the Kansas City Chiefs. As a fan, of course, we'll see what happens in 2023. I would say as long as Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts can be that good year in and year out as a quarterback coach combination, I mean, they're going to be in the thick of things every year.